As Supreme Court Justice Brandeis famously said, sunshine is the best disinfectant. To make sure oversight is a priority, the House has adopted Rule 11, which requires quarterly hearings on waste, fraud, abuse, and mismanagement of programs under the committee's jurisdiction. Accountability is critical to the legislative process, and it is something that our committee has consistently worked to promote. In the last 2 years alone, we have held several oversight hearings on issues ranging from Katrina disaster assistance to fraud in contracting. That is a track record we're going to continue in the new Congress, starting with today's review of GAO's Hub Zone investigation. When first introduced, the Hub Zone program promised to create opportunities for small businesses in low-income communities. It was designed to do this by helping entrepreneurs access the federal marketplace. In theory, the benefits will be twofold. Hub zones will not only bolster the small business community, but will also breathe new life into struggling neighborhoods. However, the program has been undermined by chronic underfunding, inherent program flaws, and sloppy management. Instead of being incubators for growth and development, Hub zones have become breeding grounds for fraud and abuse. This afternoon's hearing will focus on a new GAO report on the Hub Zone program, the findings of which are nothing short of appalling. Unfortunately, Hub Zone fraud is nothing new. Last Congress, concerns on the part of both this committee and the business community prompted a General Accounting Office audit and investigation. What GAO found was that the majority of the Hub Zone businesses it reviewed in the D.C. area were ineligible. And yet, somehow, these companies managed to collect over $100 million in federal contracts. Those are funds that should have gone to deserving small businesses. During last year's hearing on the matter, it quickly became clear that the Hub Zone program was not only dysfunctional, it was riddled with fraud. Apologists claimed these incidents were isolated. They argued that most Hub Zone businesses play by the rules and said the program shouldn't be blamed for a few bad apples. To see if this was in fact the case, we requested a broader investigation. The review, which was carried out in 4 different regions across the country, found that Hub Zone abuse is not unique to Washington. Rather, it is systemic. Today, we will hear from GAO that the majority of the reviewed businesses were not even Hub Zone eligible, and yet they received $30 million from the program. 8 months after our first Hub Zone hearing, SBA still have no control over the initiative. As a result, tens of millions of dollars in Hub Zone contracts have gone to unqualified businesses. That includes $27 million that went to businesses GAO had already identified as ineligible in its report of July. Because SBA failed to act, those companies continue to receive contracts that were never rightfully theirs. Abuse of a federal program is never a good thing. Today, in light of the billions of stimulus dollars about to enter the federal marketplace, we need to be more vigilant than ever. It is critical that small businesses have a level playing field and that taxpayers' money get the most bang for their buck. As important as it is to provide expanded opportunities to entrepreneurs, we just cannot allow a program so fatally flawed to continue. It is time for SBA to make a decision, either overhaul the program or scrap it completely. This committee is no longer going to tolerate the excuse we are working on it, while hard-working small businesses who have played by the rules are being cheated out of opportunities.